adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another video with xgaming. Today we are watching one of Pcgus's videos, the most confusing status effect ever. And guys, if you enjoy this video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And anyway guys, let's get started.
Back in Minecraft Beta 1.8, the original 19 status effects would be added into the game, and amongst them is what would go on to become the most confusing status effect to ever exist: blindness, an effect that has now existed for nearly 14 years.
14, wait, I almost forgot. We gotta hit that like button. Okay.
And one that seems to be completely forgotten by the devs. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's go back to where the confusion began. September 14th, 2011, the day Minecraft Beta 1.8 was launched. But what made blindness confusing day one? Well, two major things actually, but the first being that it wasn't naturally obtainable in-game, meaning if you wanted to try it out for yourself, you would need to edit your NBT data. And the second being that even if you did go through the awful process of figuring out how to give yourself the effect, it didn't even work. The game would just look completely normal. No dark screen, no particles coming out of you, no icon, just Minecraft, making it really hard to know if you even gave it to yourself in the first place. But in fairness to blindness, all effects at this time didn't have an icon or particles, 7 of the others were also non-functional, and the issue of needing to edit NBT data to get them applied to all but 3, those being poison, regeneration, and hunger. So it's clear that effects just needed some work. And 15 days later in Beta 1.9 pre-release 2, they got some. 17 of the effects were given sprites to show
What? Yo, this Steve is insane.
when they were active, and among those, blindness was included, meaning you could now at least see if you had the effect, which alone was already a really nice step in the right direction. But the other major change that blindness received in this version was that it now actually functioned, meaning even if there wasn't a sprite to show that you had it, you most definitely could see that you did. But sadly, with this version also began the downfall of blindness, and that's all because of one new addition: potions, which while technically available in this version, couldn't actually be accessed unless you changed the NBT data of an item or modded in the cauldron, because potions in this version weren't brewed by using a brewing stand, but rather by combining ingredients in a cauldron. But the cauldron didn't have
That's actually a sick idea. Like, instead of using brewing stands that you would actually need to put it in a cauldron, that would be like a neat little touch for like Halloween.
An item ID or crafting recipe yet, which is why the modding was necessary. And while in pre-release 3 that was fixed, brewing also happened to be completely overhauled in that version, so the cauldron was no longer even necessary. And with the overhaul of potions came a deadly blow to blindness. It was no longer available as a potion effect, and went back to being something that you would have to apply to yourself using an NBT editor, which is where things sat for nearly a year until Snapshot 12W39B, a version that now allowed custom potions to be obtained with external tools, meaning our buddy the blindness potion could once again be cheated in. But now, thanks to splash potions being available, you could get a throwable version, and this allowed for the first ever instance of a glitch relating to blindness to be triggered. But before we can discuss that, you need to quickly understand what the intended effects of blindness are. While blinded, there are 3 debuffs that are meant to take place. 1, you are no longer able to see. 2, you are no longer able to hit crits, and 3, you are no longer able to sprint. And that third debuff is the one that was bugged. While blindness had always prevented you from being able to start sprinting since becoming functional in Beta 1.9 pre-release 2, in this version, if you hit yourself with blindness while running, you could just keep on going. And it's very likely that this bug was present even earlier, but due to relying on NBT editing software to get blindness in previous versions, there seemingly is no way to get hit by it while sprinting, thus making it untestable. But we will come back to this glitch later. For now, let's head to February 27th, 2013, where
Okay. I want to say something. February 27th is actually my birthday, so that's really cool. I wasn't born in 2013, but that's really cool. Yeah.
Snapshot 13W09D, blindness would become obtainable for the very first time without using any external tools, and that is thanks to the addition of the /effect command. Now by typing /effect at P15, blindness would be applied to your character for the next 30 seconds. And if you wanted to, you could even change the duration or level of it. And over the next year, 2 other changes were added to the effect command that made it better. In version 1.6, you could now remove your current status effects, and in Snapshot 14W06A, you could hide the particles of the effect you were applying. But after that, almost nothing would happen relating to blindness for over 3 years. And when something finally did happen, it was very underwhelming. Snapshot 17W16A would add the illusioner to Minecraft, a mob that could inflict you with blindness while fighting it, but there was one massive problem. The illusioner wasn't fully implemented, meaning it was just a messier way to get blindness with commands. And it wouldn't be until a year and a half later in Snapshot 18W43A where something would finally allow you to get blindness without commands. And that something was this nasty soup right here. By crafting Suspicious Stew with an Azure Bluet and later an Open Eye Blossom, you can become blinded for 11 seconds upon consumption. And due to this change, blindness was now added as one of the requirements to How Did We Get Here? The achievement that requires you to
Do you guys think I should try to get this achievement? If you do, just leave it in the comment section and I'll try it.
Have all status effects active at once. And in the same snapshot as the rest of this stuff, the blindness icon was changed from this to this. And that is where blindness essentially sat for the next 6 years. But in Snapshot 24W45A, Mojang finally decided to come around and fix that sprinting bug that was mentioned earlier in the video. So now if you get hit by blindness, it will actually cancel your sprint, meaning after at least 12 years of being in the game, that bug is no longer. But don't worry, by using a repeating command block that gives you 1 second of blindness, you are still able to cause a strobe light effect in game, a bug that Mojang has marked as confirmed with a priority of important, and yet it still hasn't been patched, even despite the fact that it's been present since the addition of repeating command blocks all the way back in 1.9. So the neglect of blindness absolutely continues onward, and that is essentially where this story ends. Blindness continues to be a confusing status effect that is essentially unobtainable after nearly 14 years. And to add salt into the wound, darkness now exists and seems to be a replacement for blindness, meaning one day it might end up completely forgotten.
Yeah. This was an amazing video, and I can't even sleep anymore. I'm very happy that Pcgus allowed me to even make this video in the first place, but guys, go subscribe to him, and guys, hope you have an amazing day, and I'll catch you guys later.